Chris in there because you know how Chris is with water. Chris be playing with water. That boy gonna be trying to, he watched the shampoo and soap mixed up together. That's unusual. At least you can't go to the dollar store and buy some soap, bitch.
Today, Versac's Flooring Enterprises employ roughly 50,000 people from across the region. And one of the biggest is Parker's Carpet, owned and founded by Buddy and Joanne Parker.
They've always given back to people around them. I've seen people come in their carpet store before, hungry, didn't have food to eat. Buddy will go take them to get them something to eat. That's the reason why they get the respect that they do, because they give back to their community.
In the summer of 2004, Buddy's youngest daughter is fatally shot by a gun aimed at his master's son. The local authorities fear the shocking murder has the potential for terrorist turning town. Local Sheriff Scott Chitwood makes it.
No, I'm talking about, I'm not about to be wearing my boxers.
Special Agent Eddie Lewis to the crime scene.
I'm about to be wearing my boxers, but I'm gonna be like, what the heck, guys? These niggas are high.
While examining the 26-year-old victim,
I bring up phone, so I think I was like, get on the phone and catch it. That's what I want to do early in the morning.
looks like she was killed by a ricochet.
So I want to do it early in the morning, so we can, so I can put it on Instagram Live, because they got some black.
Probably separated when he came through the window.
We're trying to find where the shooter stands because also that could be just more evidence outside.
I told them, have a Christy, I'm coming right here right now, damn boy, I put it back up. We got.
I mean, I'll come take over the bed. Found 11 suspect cartridge cases. They'll be sent to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's crime lab for further analysis.
We can now properly identify the shell casings, which is going to take us back to the possible weapon that was used.
The physical evidence will help investigators learn how Carol was killed. But to learn why, their thoughts turn back to her father, Buddy, and his business times.
Had he evicted anybody from any of his rental properties? Had he had a nasty termination recently? Was there anything there that we needed to focus on?
Whenever you have a death like this, your mind goes into a deep shock. The mine was into a very deep shock.
When he arrived, the first thing he said to Sheriff Chitwood was, "I know who did this."
What? I can get away in the ones in
Rodney Jones. The Jones family was just as well known in Versailles as the party.
get one of those?
Father's come to a Georgia home furnishing.
We not watching.
Successful flooring business.
Buddy was good to Rodney. He took care of him. And financially, he helped Rodney build up his businesses.
But the relationship between the two magnates is personal as well. Billy Jones' son, Rodney, had once been married to Buddy's eldest daughter, Tammy.
I had went through a 2-year divorce, a very ugly. A lot of threats on our family through those 2 years.
Threats allegedly been made by Rodney's father to Mr. Parker. He was pretty adamant that they were married. The power of Buddy's statements galvanizes Chitwood and Hedrick to work up a tough line of questioning for Billy and Rodney Jones.
The father of the girl that just been shot comes in and says emphatically, "I know who did it." You act on that.
But before investigators can speak with either of the Joneses, a new tip presents itself right here on the Carpet Kings estate.
I just stopped these two individuals pulling out of the Parker driveway. I think you're going to want to hear what they have to say.
I go.
Harlan was at the lead explained that
They throw a shit. It's all one crackhead cousin over there. On a motorcycle, crackhead, you can't say a lot of motorcycle. I might take off my shirt
Rebecca
now.
claimed she
Go
witnessed
ahead.
suspicious activity around the Parker home.
Go ahead. I'm about to go back to work, darling.
Would you tell me
I
exactly?
might take off my shirt, girl.
The truck drove up and two Hispanic guys in straw hats jumped out.
Then what did they do?
They ran back to the pickup and fled down the driveway.
She said that they didn't like burn rubber getting out of there, but they didn't waste any time either. She thought it was odd. Did you tell Buddy?
He figured they was probably looking for work but didn't seem too sure about it. He paid us for 2 nights to ride around and make sure they didn't come back.
Did they?
We didn't see him.
Within 12 hours of Tara Parker Swiller's murder, the seeds of suspicion were sown. Yet knowing the risk of tunnel vision, investigators aim to keep their minds open.
We knew absolutely nothing other than the fact that we had an innocent victim lying in bed with one gunshot wound to the head.
And by now, there isn't a single soul in all of Resaca who doesn't know exactly the same thing. Hello? Is anybody here? Hello?
In the kitchen.
At the Jones compound, investigators encountered Jeff Hampton, a handyman for Billy Jones. Jeff worked for Rodney's dad for a while, doing his odd jobs or whatever. Is Billy or Rodney home?
No, they left not long ago. They should be back soon enough.
You talked to either one of them last night?
Yes, sir. I borrowed a truck from them and brought it back this morning. That's when they told me something was going on over the park or something. Guessing that's why you're here.
Did you know Tara?
Oh yeah, and she knew this was cool. It's hard to leave somebody kill like that.
You know if she had any enemies?
Enemies? No. But there was someone that I thought of as soon as I heard about it. You got no Danny Foster, right?
Chipwood and Hedrick definitely know the name. He was way back. He's no con man and drug dealers from years ago. He's a name from the past. What makes you think Danny Foster's involved?
I heard Buddy fired him for something that wasn't even his fault.
Hold up. Ain't no one around here talking to you all about an attorney press. Yeah, I want that.
Billy Jones he'd had one or two strokes. He was in a real bad physical condition. Mr. Jones.
You don't care what you have to say. Y'all need to get the hell off this property right now.
Take it easy, Rodney. We'll be back with a warrant. I can promise you that. Investigators approached the Jones family with the hope of answers, but leave with all new questions. The Resaca serial criminal Danny Foster had been involved as the Jones handyman insists. That would have explained why Billy Jones's reaction to their visit is so troubling. You'd think he'd be eager to shut down any suspicion he was responsible.
The door was wide open, as to who the suspect was.
All units in the vicinity of Highway 136, be advised. Officer in pursuit of a black truck.
Somebody wearing straw hats jumped back in the truck and took off. Could the man in the mystery truck be the both investigators need? Whoever they aren't going to make it easy to find out.
What seemingly simple act is against the law in Florida? Here's a hint. A circus being in town is no excuse. The answer coming up. Brought to you by Progressive's Home Insurance.
And welcome back to Maryland. 231, 3 cars, 2 motorcycles, a boat, and an RV.
I would not want to pay that insurance bill.
Oh, I'm Progressive, so I just bundled everything with my home insurance. Saving a ton of money.
Thank you, Gary!
You don't have to buzz in. No question. On March 1st, 1810,
Gregory Chopin.
collapsing in 226,
The Colossus of Rhodes.
Louise Dusk.
Brahms' Lullaby, or... Not today, Ron.
An elephant may be an unusual form of transportation, but in Florida, it's ludicrous to think that's an excuse to avoid parking fees. To police, an elephant tied to the meter is the same as a car being parked in a space. So you better have change to pay for parking and enough peanuts to feed your elephant. Brought to you by Progressive's Home Insurance. Get your quote at Progressive.com today.
Mix and match the flame grilled Whopper with crispy chicken or spicy crispy chicken. The 2 for $6 mix and match team. Only at Burger King.
Gordon Ramsay will try to save restaurants on the verge of disaster in 24 hours. 24 hours to Hell in Bed, Wednesday, June 13th after MasterChef on Fox.
Metastatic breast cancer is relentless, but I'm relentless too. NBC doesn't typically are, and neither will. And I treat my NBC with new Everyday Verzenio, the only one of its kind that can be taken every day.
In fact, Verzenio is a CDK4 and 6 inhibitor for postmenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC, approved with hormonal therapy as an everyday treatment for a relentless disease. Verzenio plus an AI is proven to help women have significantly more time without disease progression, and more than half of women saw their tumors shrink versus an AI. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, and may cause dehydration or infection. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Serious liver problems can occur. Symptoms may include tiredness, loss of appetite, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising more easily than normal. Blood clots that can lead to death have also occurred. Talk to your doctor right away if you notice pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, or rapid breathing or heart rate. Tell your doctor if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to become pregnant. Common side effects include nausea, infections, low red and white blood cells and platelets, decreased appetite, headache, abdominal pain, tiredness, vomiting, and hair thinning or loss.
I'm relentless, and my doctor and I choose to treat my MBC with Verzenio.
Be relentless. Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Feel the clarity of non-drowsy children's Claritin allergy relief, the #1 pediatrician recommended non-drowsy brand. Because to a kid, a grassy hill is irresistible. Children's Claritin. Feel the clarity and live Claritin Clear.
Looking for a hotel that fits your budget? TripAdvisor now searches over 200 sites to find you the hotel you want at the lowest price. Grazie, Gino. Find a price that fits. TripAdvisor.
I don't know like this meeting. This is what love looks like.
I'm Chris Anderson, homicide investigator.
I'm Fatima Silva. I'm a criminal defense attorney.
We teamed up to help families who are convinced their loved ones were wrongfully convicted of murder.
She didn't do it.
We either help free an innocent prisoner.
I won't say I'm an angel, but I'm not a murderer. Or help the family face the difficult truth.
He's ring down.
Triple Down, all new season premieres Wednesday, June 13th at 10. Only on Investigation Discovery. Stream the first episode now on IEGO.
Less than 24 hours into the murder investigation of 26-year-old Tara Parker Swilly. Authorities are in pursuit of 2 individuals spotted at the scene of the crime just days before the murder. When neither man can produce ID, they're taken into custody. Ms. Parker said that fits a description of people that take care of her pool. I talked to the owner of that pool company. He said that they'd had a crew out there earlier that week. For now, the 2 men will be booked on felony, fleeing and driving without a license. But suspicions of their involvement in Tara's murder seems cleared up. Eliminating them as potential suspects frees investigators up to focus on the antagonism between Resaca's 2 rival carpet magnates as a potential motive for Tara Parker's murder.
But if Parker was convinced that Rodney was involved,
and should be prosecuted for this crime.
Sheriff Chitwood summons Rodney Jones in for questioning.
I knew him from his past. Rodney had been part of the family there at one time and went through a divorce. Due to the circumstances, there was a lot of friction there.
Well, there was quite a few reports that had been filed where they alleged that he had threatened them, or one where he allegedly tried to run her off the road and things of that nature.
What was it that pushed you over the edge?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your involvement in the death of Tara Parker Swilling.
You're out of your mind. I've been married and moved on. You denied everything to do with it.
Where were you the night Tara was murdered?
At home with the stomach bugs. My wife can verify that.
I'm gonna have to do a lot better than that. I think we're done there, Tony.
Rodney's had Billy, also a person of interest. I knew he couldn't physically have done that because he had one or two strokes. I wasn't sure if he might be behind it, might have hired somebody or something like that.
Billy, I'm gonna respect your condition and just get right to the point. Did you or anyone you know have anything to do with Tara's death?
Buddy and I ain't friends, but I wouldn't kill nobody over. He said, if I were to see him out, I would, quote, whip his ass. He said, but I never cut him or shoot him or anything like that.
What about your son? Or is he still hot? About Buddy cutting him out? The only thing that upset him was how he cut him off.
Billy felt that Mr. Parker had treated his son unfairly, and he really went out of his way to try to ruin him.
With all due respect, I'm afraid your son does strike me as the kind who would respond in some fashion. We're not killers, Sheriff. We're carpet salesmen.
To check Rodney's alibi, a meeting is arranged with his wife, Kristen, who manages the local general store.
Miss Jones, where was your husband on August 2nd?
At home. He was sick, had a stomach thing.
Would you mind coming in for a polygraph test to confirm that statement?
Yeah, okay.
She voluntarily took a polygraph, passed it with flying colors.
There may have been hurt feelings there, but he was not the trigger.
As another day passes without an arrest, the rumor mill in tiny Resaca churns with renewed force. Pet theories abound, stoking fears the shooter may strike again.
Buddy Parker was a businessman. He could have been targeted, for a business deal. Somebody wasn't happy with it. In addition to the carpet business, he owned a couple or more trailer parks. Anytime you evict somebody, they're not going to be happy about it.
I think people recognized pretty quickly that somebody was out to get Buddy Parker.
Some people were afraid to be around us anymore. They were afraid something might happen to them.
Buddy Parker advertises
Hey, Grandma.
a substantial incentive
Hey, Grandma.
for tips based
You
on
wet?
facts.
He offered a reward for information.
People just wanted an arrest, but not so much out of fear, but just they wanted to be sure that someone was held accountable for what had happened, because it did seem so senseless. And so I think there was a big push from the community, from the media, from the family, to be an arrest.
Everybody outside.
When I made my daughter promise, I will not give up till they call to justice. I will not give up. We were on a rabbit trail. Anything was possible. There is, however, one lead they have yet to follow up on. When speaking with Billy Jones's handyman, Jeff Hampton, he pointed an accusatory finger at ex-con Danny Foster.
I was wondering when you were going to get around to me.
Then let's get to it, baby. What's your connection to Buddy Parker?
We're family.
He's actually an in-law of Buddy Parker's. it was related to Mrs. Parker, like a cousin or something like that.
That's all. It was until Joanne called one for moved.
Because Buddy was having an affair with a Hispanic lady. His wife had found out about it. They were about to get a divorce, and Buddy's going to lose everything he had. He had tossed his long criminal career.
Look tonight in the company too.
That's right, David. In a statement, a spokesperson for her family saying, "We are all devastated by today's tragedy. We love Kate dearly and will miss her terribly." The King Spade Company calling her a visionary tonight and saying they honor the beauty she brought into the world. David.
Eva Pilgrim tonight. Thank you, Eva. Next this evening, a judge now weighing in tonight after a major development last night involving Paul Manafort. Special counsel Robert Mueller is now accusing the former Trump campaign chairman of witness tampering from home while he was under house arrest. Mueller now asking the judge to consider revoking Manafort's bail and sending him to jail. ABC Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas tonight.
He's been under house arrest for months. But tonight, President Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, may soon be heading to jail. Federal prosecutors now accusing him of witness tampering. Prosecutors say Manafort, a person believed to be a former Russian intelligence officer, contacted two witnesses by phone and using encrypted text messages, trying to get them to lie about his lobbying work for Ukrainian politicians with ties to Vladimir Putin. One witness making the explosive claim Manafort was trying to, quote, suborn perjury. Manafort is charged with bank fraud and money laundering. It's been nearly a year since the FBI raided his home while he was still in bed.
I've always found Paul Manafort to be a very decent man, but I thought that was that was pretty tough stuff. To wake him up, perhaps his family was there, I think that's pretty tough stuff.
But over the weekend, a very different tone. The president fuming the FBI should have informed him before the election they were suspicious of Manafort's overseas connections. Tweeting, why wouldn't the FBI or the Department of Justice have told me they were secretly investigating Paul Manafort? Should have told me. The president's friend, Chris Christie, a former federal prosecutor, disagreed.
I don't care what you were running for. We're not telling you. We're not a private investigation firm to help you with vetting your people who you employ in your campaign.
Pierre Thomas with us live in Washington tonight. And Pierre, Paul Manafort has until Friday, we know now, to respond to the accusations of witness tampering here. But bigger picture, with this new threat of possible jail time instead of house arrest, Manafort is facing mounting pressure here. Possible jail, fight this, or flip for Robert Mueller.
David, there's no question that the special counsel is ramping up the pressure on Manafort. But tonight, Manafort is pushing back. His spokesman releasing a statement that Manafort is, quote, innocent and nothing about these allegations changes our defense. We will do our talking in court. David?
Indicating the fight will go on here. Thank you. Now, the crackdown at the border. News tonight about hundreds of children separated from their parents. ABC News reporting here last week on a mother and her 14-year-old son separated more than 8 months ago. She had not seen him since. She's accused of trying to illegally enter the U.S. She's applying for asylum. Well, tonight, word that they have been reunited now. And this evening, what happened when a senator tried to get a tour of a former Walmart where children are now believed to be held? Here's ABC's Chief National Affairs Correspondent, Tom Yanis.
Tonight, new pressure on the Trump administration and their zero-tolerance policy for illegal immigration.
Behind those doors inside that Walmart are currently many hundreds of children.
Senator Jeff Merkley traveling to the border over the weekend, trying to get inside this government facility he says is holding children who were separated from their parents after crossing the border illegally.
Can you please give me a tour of it?
Police soon arriving on the scene.
Who did you begin to search? Senator Jeff Merkley.
And Senator Merkley not allowed in.
The children are being separated from their family. Warehouse here.
One of those families separated, profiled here last week. We brought you the story of Jocelyn, who told us she was fleeing an abusive husband back in Brazil. But when she crossed illegally into the U.S. with her 14-year-old son James back in August of last year, immigration officials took her child away. She says, he looked at me like, Mom, help me, because I don't know where they're taking me. Her son taken more than 1,000 miles away to a refugee center in Chicago while she is seeking asylum. But today, after 8 months of separation, mother and son back in each other's arms. The government finally reuniting them. The Trump administration has recently separated around 700 children from their parents. It's part of an enforcement tactic under a hardline immigration policy.
If you don't want your child to be separated, then don't bring them across the border illegally.
Tom Yamas continuing his reporting on this, and Tom, the Trump administration continues to argue that they're prosecuting the crime of illegal border crossing here.
That's right, David, and they say they cannot send those kids to jail, so that's why in those cases, the children are being separated. Now, as for Senator Murphy, the Trump administration is taking a lot of offense to his trip and what he said there on the border, saying he did not follow the proper protocol, in some cases not giving those facilities advance notice so they can accommodate him once he arrived. David?
Tom Yamas on us again tonight. Thank you, Tom. And next year this evening, the showdown on Capitol Hill. Senators grilling Education Secretary Betsy DeVos about President Trump's School Safety Commission. She revealed the commission will not look at the role of guns used in school violence. The commission formed after the deadly high school shooting in Parkland. 17 people were killed in February there. DeVos's comments then led to a tense exchange with Senator Patrick Leahy.
Will your commission look at the role of firearms as it relates to gun violence in our schools?
That is not part of the commission's charge, per se.
I see. You're studying gun violence, but not considering the role of guns.
We're actually studying school safety and how we can ensure our students are safe at home.
There have been 5 deadly school shootings reported since Parkland, including 10 killed in Santa Fe, Texas, just about 2 weeks ago. Next tonight, Harvey Weinstein was arraigned today on sex assault charges here in New York City. Weinstein appearing to limp into court this morning. He pleaded not guilty to rape and a criminal sex act. He's accused of attacking 2 women in 2004 and 2013. Nearly 100 accusers have now come forward in the last 7 months. Weinstein denies all allegations. There is still much more ahead of World News Tonight this Tuesday. The urgent manhunt at this hour. Police now releasing new surveillance of a suspect accused of a fatal hatchet attack on his former boss. Also tonight, the doctor under investigation for dancing in the operating room. Now several patients are suing, saying their procedures went terribly wrong. And a major change tonight involving the Miss America pageant, what you will never see again. Amy Robach standing by.
Your body was made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis. Before you and your rheumatologist move to another treatment, ask if Xeljanz XR is right for you. Xeljanz XR is a once-daily pill for adults with moderate to severe RA for whom methotrexate did not work well enough. It can reduce pain, swelling, and further joint damage, even without methotrexate. Xeljanz XR can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, lymphoma, and other cancers have happened. Don't start Xeljanz XR if you have an infection. Tears in the stomach or intestines, low blood cell counts, and higher liver tests and cholesterol levels have happened. Your doctor should perform blood tests before you start and while taking Xeljanz XR, and monitor certain liver tests. Tell your doctor if you are in a region where fungal infections are common, and if you have had TB, hepatitis B or C, or are prone to infections. Xeljanz XR can reduce the symptoms of RA, even without methotrexate. Ask your rheumatologist about Xeljanz XR.
You sandwiches seem to love my new mayonnaise.
It's amazing.
He doesn't seem so amazed.
I'm not worried.
Sandwiches can't resist the great taste of Heinz. Introducing deliciously creamy Heinz Real Mayonnaise.
Need deep, long-lasting pain relief? Try Salonpas Deep Relieving Gel. 3 powerful medicines penetrate and treat pain for up to 8 hours. Need faster relief? Try Salonpas Jet Spray. Works on contact, freezing pain fast. Salonpas.
Presenting the Shark Ion Flex 2X, the freestanding cord-free vacuum that can lift anywhere because it has 2 rechargeable batteries. That means you can always be charging even while you're cleaning. Welcome to hassle-free lunchtime with Shark.
For my constipation, my doctor recommended I switch to Miralax. Stimulant laxatives forcefully stimulate the nerves in your colon. Miralax is different. It works with the water in your body by blocking your system naturally.
Miralax now available in convenient single-serve mix-and packs.
Next tonight, there are major changes coming to the Miss America pageant. The new chairwoman and former winner, Gretchen Carlson, now revealing a sweeping overhaul to ABC News. Here's my 2020 co-anchor, Amy Robach, tonight.
Miss America.
Tonight, that 97-year-old beauty pageant gearing up for a major overhaul. We are no longer a pageant. We are a competition. We will no longer judge our candidates on their outward physical appearance. Chairwoman Gretchen Carlson announcing Miss America will say goodbye to that controversial swimsuit competition and no longer require contestants to wear those glitzy evening gowns. It's going to be what comes out of their mouth that we're interested in when they talk about their social impact initiatives. Women of all shapes and sizes. Because typically we see swimsuit-ready bodies up on that stage. We want to be open, transparent, inclusive. The former Fox News anchor and 1989 Miss America taking the reins of the organization after a week of internal emails mocking contestants' intelligence and looks. Carlson says the new Miss America, led mainly by women, is embracing change. Let's be honest, it's on television. People tune in, many people believe, to see scantily clad women, to see women in their swimsuits and their evening. Interestingly enough, that's not a highly rated part of the competition. People actually like the talent part of the competition. Yeah, we've heard from a lot of young women who say, we'd love to be a part of your program, but we don't want to be out there in high heels and a swimsuit. So guess what? You don't have to do that anymore.
These are major changes. Amy with us here tonight, and Gretchen Carlson has become a real voice against sexual harassment. And I'm curious, Amy, does she see these changes as part of this Me Too moment in our culture?
She absolutely does. In fact, Gretchen told me they are moving the Miss America organization forward and evolving it in this cultural revolution. And one thing she says will stay the same: the women in this competition will earn scholarship money for college. Gretchen says the focus is all about female empowerment, and it will stay that way.
It's great to have you at the desk tonight, Amy. When we come back here, what happened 50 years ago tonight, and more on that version manhunt this evening. Police releasing new surveillance of a suspect accused in that deadly hatchet attack. And more on that doctor caught dancing in the operating room. The patient's now suing. We'll be right back.
I thought I was managing my moderate to severe Crohn's disease. Then I realized something's missing. Me. My symptoms were keeping me from being there. So I talked to my doctor and learned Humira is for people who still have symptoms of Crohn's disease after trying other medications. And the majority of people on Humira saw significant symptom relief, and many achieved remission in as little as 4 weeks.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis, serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, or protein infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores, don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
Ancestry DNA is only $69 for Father's Day, and with twice the detail of other tests, it can show Dad where he's from and strengthen the bonds you share. Give Dad Ancestry DNA for just $69, our lowest Father's Day price ever.
With Advil Liquid Gels, you'll ask, what's that shoulder? What a headache. Advil is relief that's fast, strength that lasts. You'll ask, what pain? With Advil Liquid Gels.
Hi, I'm Becky. I started smoking when I was 16. I thought it would make me look so cool and feel so free. Now I have end-stage COPD, and I've had lung surgery, and I'm chained to an oxygen tank. My tip is, if you keep smoking, your freedom may only go as far as your oxygen tube.
You can quit. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW for help getting free medication if available and eligible.
Sometimes, bipolar I disorder can make you feel unstoppable. But mania, such as unusual changes in your mood, activity, or energy levels, can lead you on shaky ground.
Hey, Grandma.
By asking about the treatment options, Vraylar is approved for the acute treatment of manic or mixed episodes of bipolar I disorder in adults. Clinical studies show that
Instagram pic real quick. I took an Instagram. I might be in the mirror like this came from the water pot. This came from the water pot behind it. I know I'm lying. Bro, my eyes. Oh! I'm about to say, please, nigga. Please, nigga, about to keep the catch. Everybody.
I don't got Instagram, but I can.